today I want to talk about reacting. So let's watch this video from Sunny V2 where he talks about the failure of the Fine Brothers. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and let's do it.
The Fine Bros went from gaining 150 million views per month in mid-2019 to around 10 million views per month recently, representing a decline of over 90% in only 36 months. What went wrong? The peak of their colossal-sized failure would eventually occur in mid-2020, however signs of impending doom first began in early 2016, when the Fine Bros attempted to trademark and copyright the entire reaction genre on YouTube. Well, kind of. I'm sure many of you remember the drama, right? It started with this video simply titled React World, in which the Fine Bros would frame an announcement in a way that sounded like, if you want to make any kind of reaction video for yourself on YouTube, the Fine Bros are now entitled to a cut on the revenue.
He said the impending doom started in 2016. Were you making reaction videos in 2016? I wasn't. What was I doing in 2016? I'm not sure. If it comes back to my mind, I'll say it.
And all you people who are thinking about making reaction videos anywhere in the world, well, by the way, we own you. In the terms, they own 50% of your brand deals, 60% of your rev share. You can't even post your video to Facebook, apparently, without their permission. That sounds like a great deal. Sign me up.
The Fine Bros would then go on to request that their audience not watch or support any other channel making reaction content.
And we implore everyone not to support those companies and channels. When you notice someone ripping someone's format off, don't stand for it.
However, when you take a look at the Fine Bros' history, it's hardly surprising that they felt entitled to the genre. The pair had built what you might call a reaction empire, beginning with kids react to viral videos back in 2010. The series became popular.
Wow, so were you reacting to videos in 2010? Some people were. I gotta give a shout out to Angry Video Game Nerd. He don't know me, I just like his content. He was reacting to video games that we played in the 80s. Also, shout out to Gen Z. We made video games pop, my dude. What are you LeBron James fans talking about? You know what? That's a whole nother video. He was making his kind of content, OG YouTube style, 2007, 2000. I'm not sure, but he got videos going way back when YouTube's whole looked different. But let's continue with this.
Because it took already successful viral content and added further insight into it by having kids provide their own opinion. Yet while this was an incredibly successful formula, going back to their React World drama in 2016, it would also be a point of criticism. They complained about
having their shows and formats blatantly stolen by companies and people, both online and on television.
Yet at the same time, they were blatantly ripping off these viral videos, then collecting the ad revenue by simply having kids react to them.
Right, so let's think about it. These LeBron James fans want you to say, man, later for them dudes who played basketball before us. They ain't nothing, but they kind of started the whole basketball genre. No one was even paying attention to basketball at all. Let's let Sunny finish.
Oh, these are those guys who complain about licensing, even though they use people's videos unlicensed.
After finding success with Kids React back in 2010, the Fine Bros moved on to Teens React, YouTubers React, and eventually Elders React, at which point they'd find themselves in a brand new controversy. Despite acting as if they started and owned the reaction genre on YouTube, their audience would come to discover that Seniors React had already been done on a channel called Still Cosmo in April 2012, only 1 month prior to the Fine Bros beginning Elders React in May 2012. What was it?
You can't copyright a reaction. It's a human experience to react to things. The devil reacted to being thrown out of heaven. The angels reacted to God saying, I'm gonna create a man. Their reaction was, what is a man? Yo, God say he's about to create a man. What is that? I don't know. But you know it's gonna be lit because God got bars. Well, I don't know what the angel said, but it went something like that, I would imagine.
What's even more infuriating was that despite Still Cosmo having started Seniors React first, the Fine Bros would take down every single one of Still Cosmo's Seniors React videos, claiming copyright infringement, which didn't sit too well with their fan base. As mentioned previously, I worked for the Fine Brothers. When they took down Seniors React, there was major backlash from the fans. They moved to censor any comment on all of their channels so people didn't know about it. This was par for the course for them, as they looked to control the conversation in regards to anything involving their properties.
Sounds like LeBron James. You didn't invent basketball, guy. You didn't invent the Lakers. You from Cleveland, my guy. And nobody wants to come to Cleveland and play basketball. I mean, the biggest thing popping out of Cleveland is, what's my man, Adrian Bronner? And you from Akron, dude. That's the equivalent, for those of you who not from the tri-state area. You claiming New York to wherever you go outside of New York, but you really from Albany. Bruh. Or as we call it upstate, Smallbany. Because it's the smallest, but you just are the capital. But because you're Albany and you're in the state of New York, you get to carry around the reputation of New York City. And those of us from New York City, New York State, I'm from New York State, but those of us from the tri-state area, we know that. Shout out to Gilly who said to Noriega, when did y'all start shouting out Buffalo niggas? Right, because they never did. Not before Griselda. Let's keep going.
And goodbye the Fine Bros acting as if they own the genre. People began to dig up examples of Bill Cosby doing Kids React content on television dating all the way back to the 1990s. However, this seemed to have no effect on their perceived ownership of the genre, as they've then gone to call out Ellen Degeneres, stating that she had also stolen their apparent idea of making reaction videos. Wow, the Ellen Show just did a kids reacting to old technology. Didn't mention us, didn't do it with us. Not cool. Need you to go to their Facebook page and blast the Kids React links, even if they didn't realize, even more important to tell them. Thanks for the help, here's the link to go leave comments, accompanied by another post of their Twitter reading, ashamed to not have @EllenShow reach out to us, versus just fully taking it as their own. This happens too often. Whilst the Fine Bros clearly expected support from their audience, calling out Ellen only gave everyone another excuse to clown on them. At the Fine
Exactly, because you did not create reactions.
Bros at the Ellen Show, welcome to German television late 90s to now. You did nothing revolutionary. At the Fine Bros, you don't own the concept. Anyone can do kids reacting, it's fun and enjoyable. At the Fine Bros at the Ellen Show, Jimmy Kimmel has done react videos with kids too. Reactions cannot be patented, that's
Anyone can react to any kind of video. Do you think you invented reacting to creepy content? Make a whole TikTok. Those are the real creators. Make a TikTok, put in the transitions, swiping, put in what do you call it? The captions, the text. You do that. You can, but it's easier to just take their content and just, right? There's a whole lane. I don't know that someone created, but it wasn't me. It wasn't you. It wasn't the Fine Brothers. Relax.
silly. This isn't new for them. They've always been extremely aggressive in taking down smaller channels on YouTube, even with remotely similar concepts. Their DMCA claims destroyed any momentum any of their competitors could have possibly built up. Then they do a good job burying any information about them ever having done it and denying doing so. The difference here is that Ellen is too big for them to bully and lay false DMCA claims against, so they had to try and use their audience to do the dirty work for them. They seem to think they're original when all of their success has come on the back of others.
And this is the LeBron James method. I'm not gonna say these things. I'm gonna tell my propaganda team to put this stuff on social media. Have a bunch of bots go anywhere where they hear the name LeBron James or a bunch of keywords, Michael Jordan, the GOAT, anything, and we'll have our bots attack those people. Meanwhile, LeBron is the one who feels like this because in the past month or so, he's been doing a dang on media tour where he's saying the same sentiments of these people who we thought was just trolls online. And all of us in the basketball genre have said these talking points didn't exist 8 years ago. Because we're old enough to know they didn't exist 15 years ago. I love how you guys say, yo, you pushing 60. That means I was around 20 years ago. Take 20 away from 60. You still got 40. So I was LeBron's age 20 years ago. I mean, by your logic. So that means I saw the stuff that you was only 5 years old or maybe 10 years old. You weren't even paying attention to adult nonsense. Your mother was talking to you like you was an adult, but you didn't understand anything outside of the inappropriate conversations you was having with your mama. But me, I'm right here in the heart of it because we got to pay our car note. We got to pay our mortgage. We got to send some kids off to school. We got the next couple of bands to throw in a strip club. These are complex adult problems I'm talking about here.
You tripping, bro.
All of this should set a pretty good baseline for why in 2016 their attempt to trademark the word react was completely and utterly ludicrous. In doing so, they'd lose 500,000 subscribers over the course of a week, at which point the pair began to backpedal heavily. The Fine Brothers would release an official statement claiming that they would rescind all of their React trademarks and applications, discontinue the React World program, as well as released all of their past content ID.
Why though? Why backpedal? For example, Satan, you allegedly wanted to take over heaven. Why backpedal? Satan is just as strong as God. Then why not go take over that? Instead of just having your minions make a bunch of TV shows where they're telling you, yeah, look, God's gone. There is no more. Just do it. Like Nike. Don't backpedal.
He claims, such as the takedown of Still Cosmo Senior's React series. Additionally, the pair would upload an apology video in which they stated that the goal was never to trademark the entire React series on YouTube and was—
No, it was. Stop lying. Yes, it was. That was always your point, LeBron, to tell everybody you were the GOAT to erase Michael Jordan. It didn't work. Nobody bought it. Much like the LeBron James sneaker. Okay, all right. Sorry.
and was rather to trademark their very specific reaction style.
We were never trying to say that every video where someone reacts to something else is something we would try to control. When we referenced licensing the React format, we only meant our specific series, not the overall genre of React.
Well, if that's true, what's your specific, what's to tell us, what is it? Because it sounds like you got in the game copying something that was already done. You started with Kids React. Well, they already had that. It's called Kids Say the Darndest Things. Never heard of that show, have you? You know who has? Generation Xers. Yeah, we used to watch it with our parents.
Reaction videos, we do not own the genre.
However, while the goal of any apology is to mend one's reputation, some clear mistakes can be observed within the Fine Bros video, which would only contribute to their decline. Firstly, they failed to keep their cool and instead responded to the audience with an angry, emotional temperament.
Just because we have or might get trademarks doesn't mean we're going to run around and start taking down videos.
Again, literally what LeBron James does, he gets mad. Well, this is a part of why basketball, the NBA is failing. Why the NBA was growing so much when Michael Jordan was around. Michael Jordan was inclusive. Everybody wants to be like Mike. Basketball is failing now because if you don't know enough about basketball, if you never played basketball at a high level, not in high school or something, if you never won a championship, if you never won multiple championships, you're not qualified to say whether LeBron James is the GOAT or not. And a lot of people was like, well, I don't want to be a part of that, because people who've never done any of that, they've never played basketball on no level, at no time, as long as they say LeBron James is great, oh, those people are elevated and they should be listened to. It's strange. And humans are humans, and we don't rock with it. We'll just go do something else. And we'll continue to explain why this coincides with the psyop that's LeBron James. And anything that is a psyop, a psychological operation, is a creepy TikTok. I don't know who created that genre. I'm just giving my take on it. I'm reacting to it. It's a reaction channel. My audience understands that. But let's keep going.
Sounds like they're both holding back pure rage and hatred. I feel like I'm being lectured by my parents about how it was wrong to punch my teacher. LMFAO, how is this an apology? They were literally just yelling at us and acting like we're idiots. I forget how pissy they looked in this. If you're making an apology for doing something shitty, maybe it's not the best idea to be visibly fuming at everyone for having foiled your scheme. Now, it's understandable as to why the pair were a little volatile. They've lost 500,000 subscribers in a week and had negative news article after negative news article, which is something that
No. You can be volatile, but as a grown man, as I said in previous videos, you have to moderate yourself more than you have to moderate the woman. Don't try to change her. She gonna be her. In you moderating yourself, that's going to make her either hit the road, Jacqueline, or she's gonna shape up because she don't want no other woman to have you. That's why you gotta moderate yourself. So if they had moderated themselves, people would have been like, all right, no harm, no foul. It absolutely was what they said it wasn't.
that none of us have experienced, so maybe we're not even in a position to comment on this, but cooler heads always prevail. Their emotional response did nothing but display how much the
Let me bring that back, Sonny V.
They've lost 500,000 subscribers in a week and had negative news article after negative news article, which is something that none of us have experienced, so maybe we're not even in a position to comment on this, but cooler heads always prevail. Their emotional response did nothing but display how much the drama had gotten to them, and when you combine this with their massive backpedal of apologizing and promising to throw out the React World program altogether, it displayed this kind of pathetic subservience to their fan base, or simply put, they made it obvious that they cared way too much, which would prove to be the ultimate detriment after the real drama began in mid-2020.
LeBron, you care too much about getting rid of Michael Jordan. That's a part of what makes you strange. Nobody else playing basketball cares about Michael Jordan. ESPN, you're using Michael Jordan to sell your product too much. You're using this rivalry that whoever is behind LeBron James created to sell LeBron James. The NBA is using Michael Jordan to sell the NBA still. Think about it.
In the lead up to this point in time, specifically the 4th of June 2020, the Fine Bros had chosen to involve themselves in the Black Lives Matter movement by uploading a video simply titled "This Is My Story," which contained an introductory message reading, in support of
Now, to my black people, hacks always put black people on the front of it because black people are like this magical force field. And if I was to really get into the creepy part, black, that term, I think it's been copywritten. Just like cancer, that's a copyrighted term. And who copyrighted it? I just think the term black is copyrighted.
hashtag Black Lives Matter and the social unrest in America surrounding the killing of George Floyd and countless injustices against people of color, we asked our reactors if they would be willing to share their own stories of being black in America. They did.
That was a bad move. Unless you put some humor to it. Being black in America can be funny. Even the races, it can be funny. There's humor in that. And if you were a comedian, and I'm not saying I'm a comedian because there's a lot of skill and hard work, confidence that goes into the performance of comedy, you'd know that.
Are part of our FBE family, and we want to help amplify their voices. Thank you for listening, the FBE team, clearly aligning themselves and their entire brand as allies of the movement. Yet, opting into the game of politics turned out to be an incredibly dumb decision for the Fine brothers, because only a week after posting the video in support of Black Lives Matter, their audience would dig up a video from 2009 in which Benny Fine had done blackface. In light of this, other black creators from within the company came out stating that rather than being supported, they had actually faced racism while working for the Fine brothers.
Wow. Now, I've never seen this video, but because I'm 18, but I got 30 years of experience, the only way you get it to Gen X's level, where you're still alive at 50 years old, is you got to know how to laugh at this stuff. You got to laugh inside, you got to laugh out loud. You got to laugh at the L's. That's what makes the L angry, that you laughing at it. The L is meant for you to wallow in it. You laugh at the L, it's like the universe lifts you up immediately.
One of which discussing their experience in a YouTube video.
So many former staff members and cast members have bravely spoken out and reached out to me privately about how they were mistreated during their time at the company as people of color and/or women, and other people who have witnessed their mistreatment.
Articles would then be posted, such as this one by Insider, which stated that within Fine Brothers Entertainment, Brooklyn Fenton, a former reactor turned employee, said she was told at times that having a reactor with lighter skin on the left of the thumbnail, where viewers would tend to see them first, appeals to the fans. 6 sources told Insider that they were sometimes told to put a person with a lighter skin tone on the left, and several other former employees said publicly on Twitter that this had happened to them. Insider conducted a review of 1,092 thumbnails that included faces of reactors. 31% of the thumbnails showed 2 white reactors, 0.3% showed 2 black reactors. As a result of these allegations, the Fine brothers would release a classic spineless loser apology stating, "Over the past decade, FBE has tried to use our platform as a force for good, making videos to speak out against racism, sexism, homophobia, and bullying. But while we incorrectly thought that creating content at our company to help in the fight against many different kinds of discrimination was enough to make amends, it is clear to us that we should have done more."
You should have done less. You know, it really reminds me of when these entertainers, music entertainers, they fall off. They come back using hip-hop all of a sudden. Remember Britney Spears? She wasn't using "Oops, I did it again." There was nothing soul about any of that. And even, what's those guys? It was like a bunch of them. The ones that Justin Timberlake was down with. Corny. I mean, you are where I'm from, as long as you love me. New Kids on the Block. Whoa, hanging tough. As soon as they start to fall off, now you want to start incorporating hip-hop. It's Britney, bitch. Give me more. Give me more. Get out of here, man. I mean, that stuff was dope, but we already liked you, Britney. You don't gotta put hip-hop on your stuff to make us like you more. Even Michael Jackson, when it seemed like he started to fall off, now you start working with hip-hop artists. Remember the time? Now you start doing stuff like that? Let me stop with Mike, because Mike was kind of suppressed and told not to publicly endorse hip-hop. Behind the scenes, we're finding out Mike loved hip-hop. If it made him dance, whatever it was, he loved it. Those facts were hidden from us while Mike was alive.
That the Fine brothers had fallen into was obvious, because it's one that so many other public figures seem to fall into. They thought that just because they had built a business and a following on YouTube, it was now their job or responsibility to enact some kind of historical social change in the world. Why can't you just be a good entertainer and leave it at that? They claimed in their apology that they should have done more in terms of talking about social issues, yet were blind to the reality that they actually talked about it too much. They should have never talked about any of these topics in the first place. Because reality check, you're a channel where people go to laugh at kids reacting to various videos on the internet, and you're not the Mother Teresa Foundation. The ways in which the Fine brothers were mistreating their employees eventually went deeper after a TikToker named 1 Minute Talk Show would post a video interviewing 2 former members of Kids and Teens React, which stated the following.
Check the numbers, yo. Kids React, Teens React fell off. Fuck the Fine bros.
Were you on Teens React too? Wait, can you come?
We were just cringed and wouldn't let us speak our mind on a show about speaking our mind.
They were on our fucking and balls, bro. That shit sucked. We couldn't say nothing.
Let's say that you started to give an answer that was like your real opinion.
They would just cut it out the video, honestly. They wouldn't put it in, bro. They'd ask questions that were like pointing you towards the direction of a certain answer.
The pair would then go on to discuss one of the most iconic reactors of Kids and Teens React, Leah Marie Johnson.
Well, I had such a huge crush on the blonde one. You know who I'm talking about.
Marie Johnson? She's like in her head stage right now.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Iceberg goes deep.
Because like she'll just randomly go live and like she's in like a house and it's kind of fire, bro.
Yeah.
Referencing her being seen high in countless different Instagram live streams. Leah Marie Johnson, in addition to these guys who appeared to be attending college, showed that reacting for the Fine Brothers didn't exactly lead to Hollywood stardom in the way that they might have expected. It's hardly surprising either. It's not like they were learning any skills by reacting to videos for the Fine Brothers, which left them with famous faces and nothing else. As a result of all the controversy over a 6-month time period, the Fine Bros went from an average of around 100 million views per month to only 30 million per month before announcing that 17 staff members had been laid off. The Fine Bros would then rebrand themselves from Fine Brothers Entertainment to React, yet this failed to stop their decline in viewership as it tumbled further to around 10 million per month. Competition had simply become too strong in the reaction genre. Every popular streamer was uploading their own reaction content to YouTube, whilst the former CEO of React Media would leave the Fine Brothers to work for Mr. Beast, who now makes infinitely better reaction content than the Fine Brothers ever could. In late 2000,
Wow, I didn't know Mr. Beast also made reaction content. So for the guys within this genre right here that we're doing, you didn't create reactions. Like, what did you YNs create? Fentanyl? Goodness gracious. Say that again, Sonny V?
makes infinitely better reaction content than the Fine Brothers ever could. In late 2021, the Fine Brothers sold the company to Electric Monster for an undisclosed price, citing that they planned on stepping away to finally spend some quality time with our family, and the two have been silent on all social media since selling the channel.
Good. Shut up, enjoy your money, and just leave it at that. So, I want to thank all of the people who dislike me. If it wasn't for your hatred, the universe would not have pointed this video out to me. I totally forgot about the Fine Brothers because I wasn't even on YouTube like that. I was watching YouTube, but I didn't want to do nothing on here because there's other stuff I'm good at. That's neither here nor there. And I also want to give a shout out to the people who actually love your boy. My wife, my daughter, my son, and you, beautiful viewer. And with that, we're going to say thank you to my channel members. We said thank you to my channel members. No diddy when I say member. Thank you to my channel members. Fuck you if you're not a member. Nah, I'm just kidding, but seriously, join. Thank you.
The boom,